Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magic made out of, Ding Dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
You can't like that.
Bacon pancake!
Welcome back to the Whiz Biz with Alex and Eric podcast. That was awkward. Welcome back to Whiz Biz with Alex and Eric. It's a podcast. We are a podcast about Adventure Time. And my name is Eric.
And my name is Alex.
That's true. And in this episode, we are covering Adventure Time Season 4, Episode 9, Princess Monster Wife, and Episode 10, Goliad. And we'll also speak super briefly about Episode 8, Hug Wolf, though that's one of those episodes that we think you can skip. So feel free to skip that part of our discussion.
Yeah, I have things to say about that episode, about all three of these, but that one in particular. Eric, I first want to say to you, officially, happy first episode that we recorded in the year 2024.
Yeah, I would like to say to you also, how about just Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to our listeners. I think we had told everybody that we were going to start season 4 on at the end of last year, but then both of us wised up and we're like, why don't we wait until the new year? And then, which was smart.
I mean, that's the nice way to spin it. It's actually both of us didn't get around to recording more episodes.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
but we should have just went with your way that we look better.
Yeah. I mean, in our defense, it was December. I had a lot of holiday stuff to do. And then I was in, Central Oregon. So.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean, we could have done it in
We could have, but my
October.
internet
There was nothing stopping us except for inherent laziness from the parts of both those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's it going? How's 2024 treating you so far?
Parts of 2024 are excellent and parts are kind of crappy. I am homesick, which is why we are recording remotely. And that kind of sucks. But on the bright side, I have a hot toddy to drink. And I have a special surprise that might make a guest appearance later in the show.
We've talked about you putting your special surprise during the show, like especially on video. It's one thing when it's in my apartment. I still don't want to see it. But when it's on video and recorded, let's just keep the special surprise in your pants.
Oh, no, you are not ready for this special surprise. This one is
this is a better one. Okay.
Special. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
What exactly is involved in a hot toddy?
Well, it kind of depends on how complicated you're going to get. A really fancy hot toddy will have a slice of lemon with some whole cloves poked in it, a dollop of honey, a cinnamon stick, and then a good measure of whiskey, and then it's topped off with hot water.
Oh, so just whiskey and water that gets fancy flavorings.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever actually had a hot toddy. I've only read about it in like Poirot books.
And then sometimes it's done with black tea, instead of just hot water. And that can be good too, but mine is the other kind. Except that instead of having a lemon with cloves in it, I just have a splash of lemon juice, which
that sounds pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Poirot, I've been reading Poirot recently, and
oh man, those are good books.
They're fun. But there's this one that this lady is obsessed with drinking drinking pink gin. And I'm like, I've never heard of pink gin before. So I look it up, and it's gin with a certain type of red bitters in it that turns it pink. And I'm like, that actually sounds kind of awesome. Just gin with bitters. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of...
sounds like Campari.
I mean, Campari sounds like that thing that Ron Howard said on that episode of Star Trek. That's for 3 people. He says, Campari.
No, Campari is a red bitters. It's really good.
Maybe it's Campari. Yeah. I think they just...
hold on. I just looked it up on the internet. It looks like it's gin with a dash of Angostura bitters.
Oh, really? It's just regular ass bitters? Oh.
Yeah, but Angostura bitters are actually dark red, so it makes the whole drink pinkish.
I always thought it was brown. Oh, yeah, you're right. It does kind of come out pink. I have that in my fridge. I put it in a lot of stuff. I guess that is kind of a pinkish color. Oh, cool. I might just buy some gin and try this shit out.
Heck, that sounds like a good plan.
I want to be like a vacationing English woman in the early 20th century.
So let's talk really briefly about our skip episode, Hug Wolf.
Exactly. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. My New Year's is going great.
Fine. How are you
No, I'm
doing?
kidding. I don't give a
Jesus
shit. I
Christ.
have nothing to talk about. I just thought it'd be funny to do that. Let's talk about Hug Wolf.
Look, I'm a little spacey right now. I've got
Literally, I have nothing to report on. I mean, unless you want to hear about how I've been going to a personal trainer and my boobs are really sore right now.
Are you getting any noticeable muscle yet?
No, I mean, I'm new to this. Actually, wait. Funny. I said that as a joke, but I actually do have a very quick, funny gym anecdote from yesterday. I was doing chest presses or something, some chest thing that you make your chest do stuff. And I was joking around with the trainer.
Was it motorboating? Were you motorboating?
I wish. I mean, I don't, because actually where the story goes, I would probably get slapped. So I was talking to my trainer and I was having trouble because I kept pushing with my triceps instead of my chest. So he's like trying to give me like form review and how to like realign myself. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's feeling chesty. And he's like, yeah, that's funny, chesty. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. But then I go, oh yeah, definitely chesty. But I said that as a very chesty woman was like 3 feet in front of my machine. And I'm so in front of her at about 10 feet is a mirror. And I'm pretty sure I saw the reflected face of someone that just thought she was referred to as being chesty. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, no, I was just saying stupid things about my own anatomy.
Well, maybe she took it as a compliment.
Her face did not read that way. She's an attractive woman with big boobs at a gym. I'm pretty sure she's real fucking tired of fat middle-aged guys saying shit about her. But okay, that was my story. Hug Wolf.
Okay.
I have thoughts. One, remember that show Airwolf from the 80s?
Yes, in fact, I mean the music.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that should be Hug Wolf. There's my thought. And
okay,
of
that's
the
a thought.
3 episodes that we did tonight, I think the skip episode is my favorite. Because I don't really care for the next 2. They're not bad. I don't really care, but I really like the Hug Wolf one. I'm like, shit, maybe we should have done it. I didn't take notes or anything because I'm like, we're doing it as a skip episode, but like, damn, this one's actually a really amusing episode. It's got nothing to do with occultism or anything.
I truly do enjoy the episode, and it was hard for me to put it on the skip list. You know, I looked at it and I was like, doesn't have anything to do. But honestly, there is something in this that is kind of a D&D reference, which is the whole lycanthrope thing, which I know is from folklore. But in D&D, there are lots of werewolves, and you can get attacked by werewolves and turned into one.
I enjoyed who's the strong cupcake guy? I forgot his name.
Isn't that just Mr. Cupcake?
Oh yeah, I think it is just Mr. Cupcake. But he calls him like a lycanthrope. Like he's got a really weird pronunciation of it, which I found very amusing.
Yeah, I like that too. But honestly, is that a word that either of us have heard said out loud by someone who knows how to pronounce it?
What, lycanthrope?
Or lycanthrope? Why
not?
Lycanthrope.
Why not? I've heard it like a million times.
Why is it lycanthrope?
You never watched those movies with Kate Beckinsale? They say that every 6 minutes. It's the lichens versus the vampires.
All right. Okay. That's a good point. I've seen those movies too.
Yeah. Also, and here's a fun thing that I thought of last week, and I was telling somebody about when I was in high school. I wrote a paper about modern vampirism, and my teacher liked it so much that I did a follow-up on lycanthropy. Yeah, my high school experience was idiotic.
I think it's always good when you can find something that entertains your teacher enough that it helps you figure out what the next paper is going to be, though.
Well, she was kind of the first person that realized I was kind of smart because I just never cared about school and didn't pay attention to anything. And
man, those East Coast standards are awful low.
All the best schools in the country are on the East Coast, so in your face. Except for a couple in California. But no, I just didn't care. And everybody just assumed I was studying and trying hard. And I was like, oh, like a BC student in younger years. And I'm like, no, I've never studied ever. I just don't like doing this. So she realized, but anyway, she realized it because I was using fancy Greek words. And she's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know. I read books. Like, why wouldn't I know that? And she's like, oh, you're one of those. That thus led me down my course of my passion for not giving a shit about going to school. Okay. Yeah. So Hug Wolf I like for a number of reasons. One.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a beneficent, or at least at worst mildly creepy version of like a cryptid. Like, you know, you don't get like a lot of the cryptids are like the chupacabra is the goat sucker. It's not giving immoral. Like he's sucking the goat's blood. You don't have a lot of like positive cryptids. And I'm just going around giving people hugs. I got like cute little heart feet. Like it's fun.
Yeah. Although, you know, the candy people do point out at some point that the thing is, the Hug Wolf hugs you without consent.
Yes, but we've established on this show that consent doesn't matter in the world of Who.
Oh,
Not in the real world. Consent matters. Everybody at home, listen. Not like anybody would take my
in the
advice.
real
Actually,
world, you must have consent. No,
given the shit I
hugs
say in the
without
show, I
consent.
should probably say consent doesn't matter because I would actually probably get more people to care about consent.
I mean, yeah, but that feels gross.
No, I'm not going to. I just was thinking about it. I think that's fun. And I love the resolution of they hug so hard that they both turn back into humans or
Yeah,
human and
that line,
whatever the fuck that thing
I'm
is.
going to hug you up. You call that a hug?
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked a long time about this skip episode that has nothing to do with our the theme of our
Oh,
podcast.
wait, no. There is a slight part of the remit on here, though. He does go to like some kind of creature legendarium in the library,
Yeah,
which feels very kind of on our vibe. Going to the library, getting into a weird book. And
true. Yeah.
there's a bit of a lateral Harry Potter reference there of the, I forget what they called it, the adult section of the occult book. There was a sign that used the same verbiage. The restricted
really?
section.
Well, good. I approve of there being restricted sections.
Yes. And I say that now because, boy, am I going to shit on a different transphobe later in this episode. So get ready, people. If you're anybody on the right wing, you're not going to like this one.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I can't imagine anybody on the right wing is still fucking here after the garbage I spout. I called your god a cunt at least 3 times on the show.
We all must cultivate our gardens.
Yeah, I'm an apartment guy. I don't have a garden.
Oh, no, it's just, never mind.
Oh,
That
that's
was
like one of those meteors that writers use, right?
a meteor.
Yeah, like a meteor. Like when you say something to mean something else. They're kind of like smileys.
It was a meteor,
Okay.
but it was also a Voltaire quote.
Oh, sorry. Here's the thing. I never heard that word out loud before. Is that not how you pronounce it?
Fuck.
For someone with no short-term memory, I have good callback ability.
The
Wait, great
let's
segue.
move-
Sorry, wait. You turn that off.
Oh.
It sounds like you've got some missing parts. Because the next episode is Princess Monster Wife, which is a bunch of missing parts.
Oh, there we go. Let's talk about some missing parts. I really like this episode. It's creepy.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I wouldn't say I really like it, but it's fine. There's 2 downsides, though. And going back to the Adventure Time has really bad values for people. This episode somewhat says that if you're ugly or have had some kind of facial reconstructive surgery, you deserve to be chopped back up into your constituent parts because beauty is actually on the outside.
Okay, that is
And this
halfway
is not the first
true,
time this lesson has been given.
except that Ice King does, by the end of the episode, realize that beauty is within.
No, he doesn't. He says, you stole all my stuff. His stuff meaning the parts of the princesses.
That's his last line, but like when he is having his heartfelt talk with Princess Monster Wife, he says to her, like, I will love you even if you don't have any of those princess parts.
Yeah, I don't buy it though. Because he also refers
But
to
he
her as
does.
having
Like,
a hot bod.
he totally, we have to remember Ice King is insane. So there's some point at which, she's out of sight, out of mind, and his reaction goes back to like a default Ice King reaction. But I think that he literally had feelings for her and was able to, it's a fucked up situation, right? He stole body parts from all these different princesses and made this Frankenstein princess golem.
Okay, and the other problem I have with this episode is, as much as I like the music on the show frequently, this is a really bad Ice King song.
It is a really bad Ice King song, but the thing about the Ice King song is it is a shot-for-shot reconstruction of the magic carpet ride from A Whole New World in Disney's Aladdin.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I mean,
So
is it? I don't know if I disagree. I don't know if I agree with myself when I said that's fun.
is it fun? I don't know. Why did someone notice that? I don't know.
What's funny?
I'm not going to go check. I'm sure I've seen Aladdin, but it was one of those Disney movies that came out after my Disney childhood phase.
I was recording with John of John Alex 8 stuff, available at John Alex 8
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
2 episodes ago, we were chatting before we started the recording, and I had a song stuck in my head, and John had to figure it out for me. And I'm like, oh, John, what's this song? Dun, 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 dun. And he's like, oh, I think that's like the song from Aladdin. I'm like, oh my God, that is the song from Aladdin. And I probably haven't seen that movie since 1995 or whatever the hell year that came out. But somewhere is deep in the recesses of my brain, and it's now come up in 2 out of the last 3 episodes I've recorded.
Have you heard there's some sort of conspiracy theory that Aladdin actually takes place, or it's one of those, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's one of those fan theories that Aladdin takes place tens of thousands of years in the future and everything is a world created by the genie?
I've not heard the world created by genie 10,000 or thousands of years in the future, because the genie makes pop culture references.
Exactly.
To 70s through 90s or whatever.
Right. So the genie that was the last time the genie was out of the bottle, something, or something happened where the world ended and the genie is sort of like recreating everything. Yeah,
I always took it more like it's an Ooh situation where, the genie just woke up after, many years of slumber in the land of Ooh, and he's making like, hey, it's just like that episode of Laverne and Shirley, and Aladdin's like, I don't know what a fucking TV is, dude. Calm down.
I think those both are valid. I think those could both work.
My other theory is that Robin Williams isn't funny and just says a lot of stuff in a row, and they just couldn't get him to stop, and that's how it happened.
Do you think that Robin Williams is funny because of the editors and not because of him?
I think back in the 70s, doing a lot of coke and saying shit in a row really fast was funny. And then people like kind of gaslit themselves into thinking he's like this brilliant comic. And I disagree. I mean, he's a very good entertainer, but I've never heard him say anything that when you look at the words is actually funny.
Well, I think that with comedy, delivery is a lot of it, isn't it?
Yeah, but delivering a good joke and just delivering Robin Williams like, oh, look over there, now dressed as a woman. Like that would get a laugh. Well, not that's terrible. But it's that's like, if you look at it like this, you didn't actually say a joke. You said things in a row. Whatever. I don't need it. I've already done shit on Robin Williams enough on various podcasts over the years.
But yeah, stop shitting on Robin Williams. I
love his dramatic work, honestly. I think he's a terrific actor. I just don't think he's funny.
Yeah. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam is a brilliant movie.
Yeah, and Good Will Hunting, I think he's fucking brilliant, and he was wonderful in 1 Hour Photo. Like, he was really subtle in the performance where he could have just gone over the top. Like, he's a really good dramatic actor, and I just kind of wish that was it. But anyway, he's dead, so,
Rest in peace, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I hope there's piles of cocaine in the afterlife for you.
I hope there's body razors in the afterlife for you.
Back to the episode. So the princesses all show up. I got a great screenshot of the princess scene where all the princesses are there. Yes. Because there's a couple of unusual princesses. First, Princess Doctor, or is it Dr. Princess?
Dr. Princess, I think.
Dr. Princess is there, even though we know she's not a princess and she's not a doctor. Apparently, she's princess enough to have some of her organs taken to be put into the Frankenstein monster. Yeah. There's a new princess there who has an arm coming out of her head, whose name is apparently Elbow Princess. I don't know if she ever shows up again.
I hope not, because that's really dumb.
Yeah.
She's just there so they can make the joke of, I took the kneecap from Elbow Princess, or whatever other body part they took.
Hips.
Yeah,
I think it was the hips from Elbow Princess. And then the skeleton princess, that's not Ghost Princess, is it?
I think it is. I think that's that one we've met before.
Okay. But it's kind of terrifying. Like LSP has a big chunk of her body taken away and then ice packs in it, which is super gross.
Yeah.
PB has part of her head missing and her tongue is just lolling out, and it's obvious that her brain is just completely gone.
Well, this is the part that I take small issue with. That's not what would happen, and it's established on the show. She would just become younger.
Right. That's true. Except that there was some kind of magic used. Was there? It just looked like a saw. I don't know. Like, what kind of, I just assumed it was an ice saw, an ice reciprocating saw. Yeah, no, that was a good joke, but it just, it's not, it doesn't work accurate canonically. And that ruins all humor. Oh, no. It needs to be canonically accurate to be funny. You hear that, Robin Williams? He's listening from beyond the grave. I hope not. He seems like a nice guy. And then poor hot dog princess, chopped in half.
Yeah, Hot Dog Princess and Muscle Princess are the two that I feel the worst about.
How do
'cause
they live?
They look like that's like actual anatomy. That's not like fun Fantasyland candy or like, a corpse leg. Like that's like there's meat and shit.
Yeah, I don't understand how Muscle Princess wasn't like squirting all over the place. See, that's why I think there's some kind of magic involved.
Maybe it's like
It's more like a
whatever like cold
displacement
cauterization is. If you get caught with an ice blade, all of the
maybe
all the blood
I'm
vessels
kind of
like shrink
thinking
real quick.
it's some kind of like portal technology.
Oh, like in Let's Everybody Fight the Purple Guy by Marvel, where that guy gets his hand chopped off in the portal. I don't know anybody's name.
Sure, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to agree. Yes, absolutely.
Marvel
that's what it's like.
Endgame, or the two where they fight Thanos at the end. There's that scene where I'm a big, strong, scary alien that doesn't have a name. I'm sure he has a name, but Doctor Strange chops his whole arm off and like with his
and it keeps wiggling around or
his
something.
portal power. Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Except I think that. So, I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions with Princess Monster Wife, because she obviously has an independent being, like an independent soul, or a something that is created by her, because there's something left when all the parts are gone.
Well, maybe it's like a disincorporated soul, just kind of saw what was going on and just jumped right in,
Like a wandering soul, like maybe something that Ice King could see with his wizard eyes.
Yeah, sure. Or, I guess the same question is for, Frankenstein's monster of, does he have a soul? Because he is just made of parts of other people. Or is he the
right? I mean, it's
soul
the
of his
same
brain?
question, right? So, and that I think is where we can sort of draw the occult connection in this show. Like, first of all, there's this idea of like the flesh golem, which is definitely based on Frankenstein's monster and is a D&D monster. But Frankenstein starts off with all of these references to occult books that Dr. Frankenstein has been reading through and browsing through, and he reads all of them and gets all of these occult ideas, especially stuff from like alchemy and things like that, about kind of like the nature of life and how life could be created. And then he's like, but I'm discarding all of these in favor of modern science. And he takes his occult knowledge of how like souls work and then works with modern science, specifically electricity, which was fairly new at the time when the book was written. And there's sort of this combination of science and magic that creates Frankenstein's monster and gives it its ability to, be alive or whatever.
Yeah. Play with Flowers by that little girl. It's the only thing I know about
Yeah.
that.
Have you not read the book?
No, I've read the book. I just thought it'd be funny to say that. My favorite thing about that book, well, not the book is brilliant, but like that thing that goes around on the internet where somebody hand wrote in at the last page of Frankenstein and says, and then Frankenstein popped back up for 1 second saying, "It's cool if you just call me Frankenstein. I really don't mind." Because there's that whole thing of it's Frankenstein's monster. Look, we know who we're fucking talking about. Calm down.
You're salty tonight. Gotta say. Salty Alex.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about
It's
that.
okay.
And I don't like being commented how salty I am, you fuck. I felt bad saying fuck there. I wanted to come up with like something like cuter to like really get across, and I failed. Sorry.
In this episode, some things that are kind of disturbing. So like it turns out Ice King can make other people fly, which I don't know that we've seen before. Have we?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's springing to mind, but that doesn't really mean much.
So Gunther's child returns, Kitten, the cat with the heart. So that hatched out of Gunther's, the weird egg that Gunther was obsessed with.
I did like the reveal, and this is something where he's doing the kind of Santa Claus thing where he's like, and Gunther and Gunther and like it. He's saying all the things.
Yeah,
but he goes to the next room and there's another penguin named Gunter.
Well,
like just with one T, no H. I'm like, that's fucking great. I don't know why, but that really tickled me.
Yeah, I mean there were so many. Yeah, like all the penguins have names based on Gunther, but I don't know that any other penguin name gets used in any other episode. It's pretty much all Gunther.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But it is cool to see Kitten there again. I don't know if Kitten continues to show up.
It's a cute character.
Yeah.
So the other part of this episode that I thought was fun, it has nothing to do with the occult, but like where he makes the monster do a fashion show for the penguins.
Oh God.
And one of the penguins finally looks up and he just can't deal with how hideous she is and just vomits out like fish skeletons and just gross penguin food.
That. And then all the penguins just go nuts and start rioting. I loved that. I'm always a big fan of the penguins. So in the Ice King's kitchen, though, he had a soap called Elf Suds, and then he had a microwave that had a house plant in it.
Hey, gotta keep your houseplant somewhere. There's also a really great stylized Ice King looking handsome portrait that I've never seen before in his dining room.
I wonder, was it based on the time that Ice King decided to go dating and he wore a suit and stuff?
No, he kind of looks younger. Like his beard is like a little trimmer. I don't know how to describe it. I probably should have screenshot it, but I was watching on my TV, and if there's a way to screenshot other than just taking a picture with my phone, I don't know what it is, and I'm not that old yet.
Yeah, and then Ice King did have some really good lines like, "Girl, I love you as much as all the other princesses in the world combined."
Yeah, I mean, I guess, because like they are all the other princesses in the world combined.
Right. I mean, it's creepy. It's and then at the end, when that cloak flutters back into the room, though my parts be scattered, I shall always be your wife. Like, who was that?
Maybe it was, I don't know, wind, sentient wind.
Sentient. I mean, why not? There's sentient everything in this
sentient
world.
Clouds. Yeah.
Sentient clouds. Yeah, I don't know if I've got anything else about this episode. In terms of the occult stuff, I think like the question of creation of life is sort of interesting. The ensouling of bodies is kind of fascinating. Another thing that's really weird about this is all of the princesses are made of different stuff, right? Like Princess Bubblegum's made of bubblegum, Slime Princess is made of slime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And somehow they can still all be combined into one creature.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some other kind of magical animating force holding everything together.
Maybe it's like that hat from Frosty. Like whatever those clothes are that they're wearing is actually made from the same material as Frosty's hat.
I guess that's possible.
Is it Frosty that's got the magic hat? Am I getting that confused?
Yeah, Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
There must have been some magic in that old top hat they found.
Oh, that's right.
When they put it on his head, he began to dance around.
Until you sung it right there, I just realized that's the same kind of beat to the Gilligan's Island theme.
It's probably like common verse or something.
Yeah, because they're once for the yeah. I got nothing else on that episode.
Okay. Well, then I have something exciting to show you.
Okay.
Would you close your eyes?
I know what it is.
No, close your eyes.
All right, my eyes are closed.
God damn it.
Very helpful. There you go. I hear that. I'm gonna.
Okay, how's that?
Well, I mean, there must be some magic in that old keytar you found. Excellent.
Anyhow, I got a keytar.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear you got a keytar because you have been mentioning getting a keytar for, I'm going to say, at least 2 or 3 years now.
I think I really kind of started to get serious about getting a keytar around a year ago.
Because you've mentioned it over the years, like to an unhealthy amount. Like I was starting to get worried about your keytar addiction.
Well, worry no longer. I am in keytarred.
Excellent.
And who knows? Maybe I will record a new version of our theme song using the keytar. I mean, it'll sound the same because it's keytar. The keytar is a MIDI controller, and I used a MIDI controller. So it won't be that exciting. But
yeah, I mean,
it'll be a keytar.
You can get a video of you playing it and post it.
I guess somewhere. I could learn how to play our theme song well enough that I could play it on Twitch with the keytar.
Yeah, keytar the shit out of it.
Yeah, maybe I will. Okay, so Alex, now that we've paid attention to my keytar and how incredibly sexy and amazing it is, I have to ask, do you have any shiny rocks for
Man,
us?
I got a bunch of shiny rocks because we haven't recorded in a while, and I've been saving them up. So
I've been saving them up too, and I'm looking forward to unleashing some of mine next episode.
what do I want to start with? Okay, I'll start with one that's just a quick line because I thought it was funny. I heard an English person refer to American English as President's English, which is delightful instead of the King's English or the Queen's English. President's English.
I love that.
Yes, it is.
I love that.
I don't know if that's original. I don't even remember who the fuck said it. I heard it somewhere. I'm like, that is absolutely terrific, and I want to share it with the audience. Making sure to give credit to someone that isn't me. So you've got 7.99 billion people to choose from, but yeah.
I mean, thinking back amongst all the presidents that we've seen in our lifetime, the only president who doesn't talk with kind of a generic East Coast accent that I can think of would have been W.
Did his
Right?
dad?
Like everybody else kind of.
Did his dad have an accent? I don't remember how his dad spoke.
I don't remember his dad having an accent.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I just remember him being really creepy.
Reagan had Reagan just had like a weird way of talking. That wasn't really an accent.
Reagan was almost kind of a mid-Atlantic, almost.
I wasn't alive for Carter, but I think Carter had a Southern accent. Were you alive for Carter?
I was, but I was very young.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. One more vote for the East Coast being the superior one, even though I moved here for a
the
reason.
President's English. I saw something, I wish I could remember what it was, but I did see something on the break that made me think of you because it was about West Coasters and their inability to recognize vowels.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying, though. I think I might be getting a little okay at it.
You're better at pronouncing them than most West Coasters, so you've got that going for you.
Hearing them is the trick. Like some of them, like I can tell the difference between pen and pin really easily.
Yeah.
Aaron and Aaron are a little harder for me to hear.
Yeah, see, I heard you do it separately, which is good because most people, when I bring this up, say the same word twice. It's like, no, sorry, buddy.
Yeah. They're hard to hear, but I think I can say them. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. West Coasters, we've gotten really lazy with our vowel noises, and we basically schwa everything. We turn everything into like the least interesting vowels. So use your vowels. Make your vowels
which is
big.
part of the reason why people say, and it's not far from the truth that parts of the West Coast don't have an accent. It's because they don't have a strong accent. They've got like a laccent. Like there's no like punchy, like, you can't do an impression of somebody from Oregon.
Right. I mean, you could do an impression from a really rural Oregon.
Oh yeah,
because there are some strong rural Oregon accents.
But Hayseed's gonna hay. Like I mean like
them dar hills.
Yeah, no. I mean places that matter. No place that says Washington.
Hey.
Look, I'm just saying everybody and
Washington.
everything from rural Oregon is a piece of shit. I'm not saying.
Hey.
No. I just mean like a population center accent. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So
I do say Washington, but kind of as a joke.
What do I say?
I say Washington.
Oh, do you throw the R in there? Nice.
Yeah.
So one more thing, and I was completely unaware of this, and I don't know if it's super popular, but do you know the Shavian alphabet? Is that familiar to you?
Yes, I do know the Shavian alphabet. How do I know the Shavian alphabet? I feel like I was just reading about this.
Well, I'll tell the audience about it.
Okay, tell me.
So basically, it's somebody tried to figure out. Ronald Kingsley Reed tried to figure out a new alphabet for English because English is a stupid alphabet that a lot of the letters kind of overlap and whatever and don't make a lot of sense. So the idea is it's an alphabet that's phonetic.
Mm-hmm.
So every letter represents an actual phoneme instead of like this kind of weird arbitrary thing that the English alphabet is. And there's three different things. There's there's tall, short, and some other one. I didn't do the research well enough. Oh, sorry. Tall, deep, and short. So one is like aspirated consonants like well, it's not aspirated, but like there's cuz, the ones that you don't have to like voice. And then there's voice consonants, and then there's like vowel sounds. And there's slightly more complicated than that. But it's really interesting, and you end up using a lot less letters when writing. It's super, it's significantly more efficient. But the theory why it didn't catch on is because it's essentially useless in a lot of other languages. The second that even sniffs
but
China,
also,
it falls to fucking pieces.
But it also doesn't work across the United States because accents are, or across English speakers.
No,
right?
no,
Because
it does. That's the
accents are
thing,
so
is you
different.
spell it the way that it's pronounced. There's not an
But that's the problem.
but that's one of the. See, you're seeing that as a flaw. It's meant to be as a feature in the design.
Right. But it doesn't work. It doesn't. So like somebody who has a strong like upper class British accent,
Yeah.
English accent, would spell like car differently than someone in Oregon.
Oh no, totally. But that's kind of the positive of it because you're reading in the voice of the writer.
Okay, that's a positive and a negative.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
it didn't catch on. It's
Yeah.
it's part of a lot of the reasons we don't speak
realize
Esperanto
now. I heard about this because YouTube fed me a video about it recently.
That is how I found out about it. So maybe we've watched the same video.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Were we both logged into like the WizBiz YouTube accidentally?
No, it was fed to my regular YouTube. I get a lot of language stuff to my YouTube, so this was not surprising.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
the
right.
changing
So
alphabet. Everybody should
so
look it
far
up.
there
It's
have
really
been 0
interesting.
shiny rocks.
What's that?
Give us a shiny rock.
I feel like that was a shiny rock.
Well, that wasn't like a okay. Shavian alphabet. Okay,
When I introduced shiny rocks, I said an interesting thing I found, usually word based. I control this segment, and now I'll give you a
my
traditional shiny
Okay.
rock.
okay, traditional shiny rock.
Pick number 1 or number 2.
Number 1 always.
Number 1 always. You maybe would have to click a link. This is a common word, and I just never ran into it. Do you know what a deuteragonist is?
Deuteragonist.
Yeah, deuteragonist. That's hard to pronounce.
Deuteragonist.
Here, I'll give you a hint. It's the same word. It's related to protagonist. I'm having trouble pronouncing it because it's not a word I say all that often.
I don't know what it is then. No.
Oh,
No,
good.
what is it?
Okay, because I think maybe people that went to theater might know it, but it's the actor taking the second most important thing in a drama, or like the foil of a piece.
Oh. Right. Okay. Cool.
So I
That's
think
a
the
good word.
DEUT is kind of like the number 2, and then
Right.
agonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Deutagonist?
Well, the pronunciation is DU with an umlaut dash T upside down E dash RA dash G upside down E dash NIST, which is why I was struggling with it.
Deuteragonist? Deuteragonists.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Well-
going with, but it's hard to get your mouth around. But I bet you if I was looking at
It is.
protagonist in the same, that what the hell do you call that spelling? Phonetic spelling or whatever.
Shavian.
Yeah,
That's the
when you look
Shavian
at it in
alphabet.
Shavian. I bet you I'd have trouble pronouncing protagonist if I was actually looking at it broken down like that.
Deuteragonist.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a cool word.
Okay.
I'm never
Okay.
going to use it, but it's a cool word. Maybe I'll run into it sometime reading a book.
No, I use it. I mean, you're definitely the deuteragonist of this podcast, for instance.
Wait a second. I'm first build, though.
Yeah, that's just kindness. Or alphabetical order.
Well, only in this alphabet. In Shavian.
Yes. All right, are we back?
I have a Star Wars mug. I found a 4-pack of mugs in one of those free giveaway piles of Star Wars mugs.
A
with
4-pack
hot
of Star
cocoa.
Wars mugs?
That's and the hot cocoa was expired
nice.
14 years ago. I didn't try it, but I was
How does hot
tempted.
cocoa expire? Like, did you try it anyhow?
No, if it was like 5 years, I might, but like 14 is like I don't even know what would
That's
happen.
a lot
there.
of years.
Yeah, that's a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
years. Like,
I mean,
it's dried. It probably would have been fine, but like, I don't even like hot cocoa that much, so it's all worked out in the end.
are you ready now for episode the next? Episode the next being episode 10, Goliad. I really
Yes.
like this one.
So episode 10, Goliad, I want to tell the audience a quick little aside, and it has everything to do with this. I should have said at the beginning. If you're watching Adventure Time on Hulu, they're in the Wikipedia order, which I believe is to be the original broadcast order, and not the weird HBO Max
That
mishmash that we've been dealing with. So if you have a Hulu subscription, it might be more logical for you to watch it over there.
That's a really good point. I am probably going to keep watching it on Max, but it will continue to annoy me.
Yeah, the only reason I'm doing it this way is I got Hulu for something else for the other podcast. And if you bundle it with Disney...
What was the other podcast again?
John and Alex Hate Stuff, available at johnandalexhatestuff.com.
Yes.
If you bundle it with Disney Plus, it's like super cheap. And those two together are cheaper than HBO, so I just canceled HBO for a few months.
Oh. Yeah, I think I might need to cancel one too. Netflix has been doing really, really well lately.
Yes. Oh,
surprisingly.
I mean, whatever. Who knows if this gets in the episode, but I have a firm Netflix recommendation. Pluto on Netflix. It's based on a really famous run of Astro Boy manga, and it is really good. It's just came out like pretty recently. Give it a watch.
Well, I'm going to recommend then, in case if I didn't already, Blue Eye Samurai. Did you recommend this to me?
I told you somebody else recommended it. I was saying Scavenger's Reign is amazing, and people were telling me Blue Eyed Samurai is at that same level. Yeah,
I would say definitely go check out both of those shows.
Yeah, and if you're on Netflix, only one of them make sure to not watch Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, because it's garbage.
Did you try that? Did you watch it?
I did. It's literally out of focus.
They're pushing it hard.
For significant amount of the film. Like anytime special effects in the background meet like real life in the foreground, it gets this. It almost looks like it's filmed in 3D. Like you get this green and red kind of aura around stuff, and it looks like it's like, oh, this movie was made for 3D and we're watching a non 3D, but it wasn't. It's just it's really bad, and the plot's terrible and the acting's bad.
God, I want to watch it now. I mean, honestly, you sold me. I'm totally.
It's not like there isn't good stuff within the crap. Like there's a really cool looking robot. Yeah. There's a couple of good like kind of action sequences, but like it's not. It is. I rarely say this because I have all the time in the world, but it's not worth your time. But it's not like you're going to go, oh man, what an utter piece of shit. It's just more like wow, that was pretty bad, and like then you forget most of it. Like it's basically just imagine Star Wars, but some idiot did it. Or a different idiot did it.
like the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. Imagine Rise of Skywalker, but slightly less Jedi.
Okay, I can imagine that. I did at some point in the last couple of months, I watched Justice League for the first time.
The Snyder one or the Whedon one?
The one that was theatrical.
Okay, yeah, that's the Whedon one. Yeah, the Snyder one is the longer one that's broken up into like 4 parts.
Holy shit. I mean, isn't it the same footage?
So no. Whedon shot extra footage to make his version of it because Zack Snyder dropped out during the production for family reasons. Then Snyder somehow convinced whoever does that, HBO, I guess, or Warner Brothers, to give him more money. So he filmed extra stuff.
So they released the Snyder cut.
His version, which is like 4 hours long. And honestly, it's not bad. It's much better than the Whedon version. And I'm a Joss Whedon fan, but like he didn't.
The Whedon version was okay.
That's generous of you. I don't hate it, but it's rough.
I was comparing it to Aquaman.
Oh, it's better than Aquaman.
Batman versus Superman. Well, I mean, it's just, they're in the same universe.
No, you're right. Yeah, comparison to them, they're totally right. So let's talk about Goliad, which I just realized.
It's the name of a town in Texas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Got to be something else.
Well, isn't Pendleton from Texas? So that would make sense.
I don't know.
I know. The reason I think that is because the actress that plays Tree Trunks has a thick Texas accent, and that lady knew Pendleton's mom. So one assumes that this took place in Texas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's get a big thing out of the way here because I said I was going to mock a transphobe. Goliad is played by an actress named Wendy Linehan. And her brother plays
Stormo,
whatever the other Sphinx, Stormo.
Yeah, and that's Henry Linehan.
So they are the children of an absolute piece of shit called Graham Linehan.
Who's this?
He's a very funny British TV sitcom writer. I think Father Ted might be him. However, he's literally an anti-trans activist. Like, not like he says random, he's not like being canceled for saying like random stuff. Like he's significantly worse than J.K. Rowling. Like he goes off on like everything. He says disgusting things about trans people. Like he's an absolute fucking monster of a human. Okay, monster might be the exaggeration,
that's a
but he's a piece of
bummer.
shit. Like he's an utter piece of shit. And I just want to be clear.
Oh, he also helped write Black Books.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I was a fan of his writing. Like he's talented, and it's frustrating because it's another fucking J.K. Rowling situation where like, why must you take away all but just shut up? Don't say the things. But yeah, he's gone completely off edge, just screaming. Like he says really, really like it's like he's saying the quiet part out loud. This isn't like a subtle I retweet things. Like he just and
so he's just a garbage human.
he's a garbage human, and I try not to like be a
total
call out kind of
idiot.
person, except for Jesus. I call him out all the time. But I didn't know. John turned me on to him being a piece of shit because he's written really great stuff. He's a funny man. That I just like to spread the word that if you happen to not know that, because we're in America and you might not, these stories aren't fed to you, don't support that man. If anything, if there's some way to give him money, don't do that. His kids are adorable and they make fun voices.
I think it's fair to say that WizBiz with Alex and Eric's shit list includes Jesus and Graham Linehan.
Well, yeah, to be fair, Jesus is...
Not necessarily in that order.
The Jesus thing is more his followers. I actually don't really have too much of a problem with most of his teachings. Except
that if Jesus is really omnipotent, then his followers are that way because of him on purpose.
Yeah, but he's more his dad's omnipotent, and Jesus is just like a spiritual Nepo baby.
Now, don't turn into a Jansenist on me. Everybody knows that Jesus and his dad are the same person, which is also super creepy.
Oh, yeah. What's that called? The triskelion? What's the tri thing?
The Trinity. It's the
No,
Trinity.
no, there's a fancy word for it.
The tripartite God?
Yeah, it's something like that. No, there's like a fancy, like something like that. I
think the triskelion is
No, it's that symbol. I was being silly, yeah. So it's only the kind of Celtic-y looking symbol with the three things combined at the center.
Yeah, the three spirals that all connect.
Yeah, sorry. So I didn't mean to start off on a bad note. I just I found out about this guy. He was someone that I really liked his work, and it sucks. So I want to like pile on the misery onto him that and we know that.
How did you connect to them? Because I found the names of the kids who did the voices, and I went and looked for them, and I couldn't find much on the internet about them. How did you find the connection?
I saw Linehan, and then because I was trying to figure out who played it, and they said it was Graham Linehan's kids, and I went, "Oh, notorious monster Graham Linehan." And
who's they? Who's they?
Google. I don't know. You use your weird libertarian search. Just search the one that other people use, and it was like the first result.
It's not a libertarian
No, I know. I'm being facetious.
search.
Eric uses like an
Jesus
actual,
Christ.
like legitimate old school, we use algorithm, not training your brain for dopamine release search engine.
I just use DuckDuckGo. There's nothing mysterious about this.
I don't know what's like mysterious.
I'm going to put a link to DuckDuckGo in the show notes, in fact.
No, it was just the first result in Google, and I saw Graham Linehan. I mean, if you didn't know Graham Linehan was a piece of shit, that wouldn't show up. I just went, oh, fuck, that's that piece of shit, Graham Linehan.
Right.
But the reason they're on the show is because Pendleton found out that their kids really liked Adventure Time and did like fun voices, like impressions of Adventure Time characters. So he invited them on through Graham. So it's Nepo baby, anti-trans activist. I mean, the kids might be great. I don't know anything about them, obviously.
It's possible. And also, honestly, I bet you Graham probably hadn't gone.
Oh, sorry. I should be very clear. This is well before he was a very funny British writer. This is long before any kind of him being a piece of shit was revealed.
Holy shit, he was kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah, he's in 2020. He's like legitimately a piece of shit. Like this isn't like a subtle. Some of his quotes are really gross. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like he talks like I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, if for some reason you want to be violently angry at someone, look up Graham Linehan quotes about his views on trans people because he is disgusting.
Just don't do it. Don't do it. His Wikipedia page alone is enough to just.
His the first line in his Wikipedia page is
he's a monster.
Like writer / anti-trans activist. It's like in the first two sentences.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I hate him. I hate him.
Okay, let's get back to it because we can start this episode with something adorable that has nothing to do with this. Jake is a tiny little guy in a stick fort that Finn made. Just adorable little Jake.
Oh man, what about, which is adorable, and then what about Peppermint Butler coming out of the ground?
Very odd. Yeah, just weird gopher Peppermint Butler. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got like.
Are there secret tunnels?
I was gonna say there's caverns underneath the castle that you see him like doing experiments in at some point. So maybe he's got a tunnel system under all of Ooh.
Was there some sort of broken teleport? I don't know. All I know is I love Pep Butt. So it's always a good thing to see him in the episode, and it's too bad that he wasn't more of a major character.
Yeah, and this one
His
he just
voice is
basically
a
just
little
shows up and says
annoying,
hi.
Yeah. He also does get eaten by, or he gets shoved down Jake's throat, so Jake does have to puke him up later.
Oh yeah, that's right. Lucky.
So this episode is part of the sort of like canon lore storyline. Princess Bubblegum is reacting to the sort of like existential terror that she experienced in Mortal Folly and Mortal Recoil, which were the episodes, the last episodes with the Lich in them. And she is sort of like admitting like she's not immortal, but she's going to create an immortal creature
Yeah.
to take her place as ruler of Candy Kingdom when she dies. But of course, as we saw in the previous episode, rarely does the creation of major form of life go very well in Ooh.
I mean, in anywhere, really. You ever seen that Jurassic Park documentary? Man,
Yeah.
those dinosaurs are fucking violent.
Life finds a way, Alex. You know, life finds a way.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Hey, seriously. Hey, P-Bots, I want to tell you about chaos theory. It's an interesting thing. Not P-Bots. Princess Bubblegum
Bubs.
is over 1,000 years old at this point.
Right.
I get that she can be killed, but essentially she is immortal. Is Goliad
does your bubblegum lose its
indestructible
flavor
as well?
on the bedpost overnight?
Is Goliad indestructible as well?
Well, that remains undetermined by the end of the episode. I mean, obviously, she's put a lot of work into this. You know, she mentioned something like she's been awake for like 83 hours. And she's created this sort of, she calls it a candy sphinx?
Yes.
And it's adorable. It's huge. It's probably like, you know, twice as tall as Princess Bubblegum. And it's kind of an adorable, cute, kitten-like pink thing with an anus in the middle of its forehead.
As all cute things have.
Yeah. The old forehead anus, it's very important. I mean, that's the question, right? Like, she creates an immortal creature with complete innocence and then sets it in the hand of Jake and Finn.
So this is a remarkably stupid thing for Princess Bubblegum. One.
But she had sleep deprivation.
Yes, but presumably there was a moment where the creature wakes up. Take a nap before that happens. Like, don't be up for 80-something hours. Then, secondary to that, don't give this innocent child to the hands of Jake and Finn. It is Finn you might be able to get away with, but Jake, you've seen him be an absolute ass on multiple occasions.
And we've seen Finn be so irresponsible. Like, I'm just thinking back to some of the earlier episodes when it was way more, when the show was so much more innocent and unaware of what was going on. And, you know, Princess Bubblegum would like give them these complex missions that they would fail every single time.
But at least Finn, like, at worst, he would train Goliad to be an idiot. You know, just like a righteous, good-seeking idiot. Like Jake, I mean, you don't trust your kids with Jake.
No. I mean, except Jake's kid. Well, nope. Don't even trust Jake's kids with Jake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look what happened to Ki Kwan or whatever the jerk one is.
Yeah, I mean, so Goliad ends up having psychic powers thanks to a eyeball that emerges from its forehead anus.
Terrific. Before we get into his powers, there's a sequence I really enjoyed in this episode where Finn and Jake are trying to raise Goliad or train him or whatever. So they bring it to like the Candy Kingdom preschool, for lack of a better word, maybe nursery school.
Yeah.
And they are all incredibly, the children there are incredibly misbehaved. And Jake tries to calm them down.
Permanent sugar high.
Go, get his brain! Get to his brain! And they start crawling inside of Jake's skull. It is, holy shit.
I love that scene. Yeah. And Jake's line when he sneezes them all out or whatever, he's like, "I'm Don Juan Cherry Tempo," or something of that nature. I didn't look, but I loved it. It was so weird.
Yeah, it's a terrific sequence. But yeah, so then Goliad is shown to have a psychic third eye that comes out and hangs out of his forehead anus and can both mind control and body control anything around it.
Everybody.
Yeah, and it learns the lesson that, an iron fist dictatorship is the best way to lead.
Yeah, basically he's he'd make a great president. Or is Goliad a he or a she? A they. Goliad's a they. I think.
Well,
I think Stormo is referred to as Finn's son.
yeah, for some reason,
I don't know
Goliad read
if
female
Goliad
to me,
is
but I
ever-
don't think they actually said she. Maybe they did.
I don't think so either.
Let's say it,
But in it, why not they?
because it's mean and wants to take over the universe, and, I want to take away its personhood.
Okay, fine. Let's take away its personhood as much as possible, because it turns out Goliad's very, very dangerous. But I loved the scene. So PB is trying to explain how to be a gentle, good ruler, and sort of the ins and outs of like balancing all of the acts of rulership in the kingdom, and has the birds and the bees talk with Goliad. And it is so suggestive, the way she describes the bee's relationship with the
Yes.
flower, and the animation on the screen with the bee sort of like very sensually, like,
Yeah.
butt humping the flower like that. Like, that is the most sexual thing we've seen on this show.
Yes.
And it was a total meteor.
Yeah, it was kind of gross, to be honest, but I'm fine with it, But yeah, if you watch it, it's
I've always
he's
wondered.
very much humping the stamen, whatever that thing in the middle of flowers are.
Yeah, but I mean, and PB explains, that like each one gets something that they want from the
Yeah.
other, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's, but I do have a question. This is relating to real life more. The legendary birds and the bees talk. Did you ever get the talk?
No.
I'm wondering, I've never been able to figure out what the birds and the bees talk would be. Like, what are you going to say about birds and bees? Is it what PB said? Is that the birds and the bees?
I don't know, but here's a great line from The Simpsons about it. That Bart goes outside in a nice day, and he's like, beautiful spring day, bees in the air, the birds are out trying to have sex with them, presumably. It's just like a fun, no, I don't know what it's, I mean, birds and the bees, I guess it's, no, I don't know. I don't, because they don't have the same reproductive organs as us. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
None of them do. I mean, like it's so nonsensical. Like, there's nothing a bird is going to do that's going to be anything. Like, they don't have sex the same way we do. They don't even attract mates the same way we do. They do it better with screaming and loud.
Yeah, and they
colors.
tell people where to go by dancing, which actually is kind of like humans.
Let's bees.
No, I don't know. Maybe the audience at home can get at us and tell us.
Yeah. Please. What are we supposed to call it on Blue Sky? Squirt. Please squirt at us.
Skeet. Please skeet at us. Yeah.
Skeet.
Skeet
Please
all
skeet
over
at
our
us at
account.
Blue Sky.
So PB makes a new Candy Sphinx to fight Goliad. And the new Candy Sphinx is made from the DNA of Finn, which was acquired without his permission. Again, she literally bred Finn without telling him.
This is a very low consent episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Goliad is so. I mean, while that's going on, Goliad is trying to read Finn's mind to figure out what the plan is to stop him. And this is another sequence that I just really, really love, because Finn is like actively taking control of his mind and using his imagination to control what he thinks about or alter what he thinks about. So Goliad's trying to force him to think about the plan, and Finn is just constantly being like, no, like, make Princess Bubblegum explode, turn her head into a dolphin, do all these things. And it's just this ongoing like battle of images, which I really, really love. I think that's a very kind of occult way to look at this particular thing. And then here's something that I really, really want to ask you about. So like, you've been doing the personal trainer thing, and I assume you've been doing like your squats and your bench presses and all that kind of stuff. Do you ever sing the Buff Baby song while you're at the gym?
No, my trainer whispers it in my ear while I'm doing exercises, though. It's kind of like an ASMR thing. Just, I'm a buff baby.
And then
make up your man. And then I'm like, lifting weights. Yeah.
I'm a punch
Yeah,
your
because
buns.
I wanted to, like, the theory behind that is that I'll do the exercise faster so that guy could stop whispering a song about a baby dancing from Adventure Time in my ear.
Oh, so it's reverse ASMR, kind of?
Well, that's what he thinks.
Or,
I'm kind of there for it.
okay,
Yeah.
but instead, I hope he listens to this someday.
Oh, fuck, I didn't even think about that.
You should tell him about the
No, because this will probably be the episode.
At the end of the episode, Stormo and Goliad are locked in eternal combat. They're evenly matched. They're sitting there locked in eternal combat. I really, really like the scene for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's this thing happens in a much more plot significant way in Bravest Warriors, which is another Pendleton Ward show, where the psychic horse ends up locked in eternal mental combat with the Aeon worm. And then also it's this sort of like an ongoing theme in like mythology where there's where eternal cycles are sort of explained away mythologically, right? Like in Egyptian mythology, like Apep and Ra. Every night Ra, the sun god, his skiff that bears the sun, like goes into the eternal night, and Apep the serpent, tries to fight him, and there's a big battle, and then dawn happens again. So if we don't do our part in the battle, Apep might win and the sun might not rise. Or then like in Zoroastrianism, there's Ahura Mazda and Ahriman, who are both like evenly matched cosmic beings, one good, one evil, and their clash is so epic and eternal that it is sort of like borne out in our lives here on Earth. So I think that this episode, just like the previous one, both of them had to do with the creation of life, but they happen on like such different levels. Like Ice King's life creation is so base, and ends in a way where there was definitely some sort of life created, but it was lost. It drifted away. And here, Princess Bubblegum has done something like really momentous, and she's created life twice using a formula that I presume could be repeated again. Like she could create a third Candy Sphinx if she wanted to. But what has happened is these two immortal, eternal creatures have ended up locked in combat. If Stormo ever fails, then Goliad will take over.
Yeah, and all the mythological points accurate. Like it, very well done. But she has the ability to create another beautiful one. She just needs a piece of hair from Finn, and then it's 2v1, and you could just get Goliad destroyed. If they're evenly matched, if you get another one of the same power focusing on Goliad, it would be defeated, and you would have two basically omnipotent, pure of heart creatures watching over the Candy Kingdom.
Maybe, but maybe she doesn't know if it's pure of heart. Maybe she just knows that it will follow. She knows that it'll follow this
You
command.
see that Finn here? Maybe that's pure of heart.
All right. I think we've seen enough Finn to appreciate that about him for sure.
Yeah, and Finn realizes that Stormo is kind of his child, and he wishes it a happy birthday.
Yeah, it's another one of those things that it's gonna have to go in Finn's vault. Like it's a weird ending.
What, you don't want your child to be immediately embroiled into an endless immortal battle with something else on the day of its birth? I mean, come on, that's every father's dream.
Do I have to feed it and stuff? Like, how does that work?
Nah, I think you just kind of like watch it. Maybe put it in front of a temple.
It works for me. Yeah.
I wonder if they
let's
can
do it.
move them.
I mean,
because that'd be cool. That'd be a cool like entryway to the Candy Kingdom, to immortal sphinxes and the psychic battle.
So yeah, anything else on this one?
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, bring it on home then, Alex. Bring it on home.
Yeah. If you like the show, tell your friends. That's pretty much it. WizBizPodcast.bsky.social. Go to Blue Sky. Find us there. But also WizBizPodcast.com for our website. WizBizPodcast.com for our website for links and whatnot. And that's about it. We will catch you in a single fortnight.
Yes. Happy New Year again.
That ending was not believable.